Hello and welcome. You join me at the wheel of my Thunderbird on the way to Mercedes Benz World, where we'll join Surrey Car Meet for their Cars and Coffee event. It's an event I've been meaning to attend for a while now, but was unable to get tickets. It's completely free to attend, but if you are bringing a car along, you do need to register as there are limited show car spaces. Any interesting car is welcome, whether it be classic or new, JDM, high performance or modified, which makes for a varied meet. So, I'll catch up with you when I arrive. So I've parked up and I must admit I'm looking a little out of place amongst all these modern high performance and German cars. Everybody has also appeared to have made the effort to clean their cars, where mine is still caked in dust left over from Goodwood Revival last weekend. But hey ho, let's capture some of the arrivals and see what other fantastic machines we can see today. The majority of the cars have now arrived, so let's take a closer look at what's on display. Starting with the Mercedes Benz AMG GT next to the McLaren, followed by a Mini, and is that an R32 Skyline? But first let's take a closer look at this McLaren. This is McLaren's 600 LT, based upon the 570, but a little bit more refined. It has a more conventional suspension setup consisting of springs, struts, dampers, nothing cross-linked, hydraulic or clever, which provides a much more connected driving feel compared to some of McLaren's other cars. It comes with a 3.8 litre twin turbocharged V8 and a 96 kilo weight reduction, Next we have this lovely example of a Mini Cooper shining in the sunlight, parked next to an R32 Skyline. The Skyline GT R32 earned quite the reputation in motorsport and earned the name Godzilla for its monster track performance. A very successful car indeed, and dominated many touring car championships across the world. It was so successful that the Australian Touring Car Championship banned it. Now this is a very special machine, the Maserati MC20. One or two here that are today. This one is finished in black and the other in white, which we'll look at later on. This is probably one of my favourite supercars that is currently available. The styling and shape is beautiful. It makes a statement without going over the top. Very smooth and very sleek looking. Bold, but also quite elegant. In a rather vibrant yellow we have one of a few Lotus Elises. And a Scooby Impreza sneaking past, again showing you the great variety of this meet. Further down we have a pair of BMW 1 Series, accompanied by a 2 Series on the end. And rivaling the BMWs, Mercedes Benz World have also brought along their all-new A35 AMG, equipped with a 2-litre turbocharged engine providing 306 brake horsepower, resulting in an auto 60 in around 4.7 seconds. Combined with 4-wheel drive, it makes for quite the street machine, although one of these will set you back around £43,000. And continuing the German theme, we have this simply stunning pair of Audi R8s. This one finished beautifully in a deep dark purple that nicely contrasts the gold wheels, and the black one in the background, also with gold detailing on the wheels, and canards fitted too. But this purple really does catch my eye, especially in this sunlight. Very nice indeed. Moving further down we have a Ferrari 360 Modena, named after the town Modena, which was the birthplace of Enzo Ferrari. A couple of cars down we have this Porsche 911 GT3, again in a simply stunning colour combination. The dark green contrasts the gold wheels beautifully. Not sure which colour combo tops it for me. It's either this or the R8. Perhaps you could help me decide by letting me know down in the comments below. Continuing along the line of cars we have this Mercedes 190E, complete with the wide body kit, large rear wing, single wiper blade, amongst other details that make for a very convincing replica of the 190E Cosworth Evolution. Only around 500 units of the Evo 2 were built by Mercedes to comply with homologation regulations in order to compete in the German DTM series. Next to the Maserati we have this lovely example of a Targa Top Porsche Carrera. Today has the perfect weather to enjoy the benefits of a Targa Top. This I believe is a Carrera 3.2 which were built between the mid to late 80s and replaced the SC series. Visually not a lot changed, as is the case with most Porsches. Mechanically the 3.2 received upgrades such as a larger engine, a 3.2 litre flat 6, hence the name, and larger brakes which were also fitted too. Still keeping with the German theme we have a BMW 2 Series M Sport making quite a statement, complete with carbon details on the front wings, wing mirrors and of course the large spoiler. In combination with the wide body kit make for a rather mean looking machine. Again another fantastic colour choice that complements the black wheels. So here is a second Maserati MC20. This one finished in white. Around the back we see the 3-litre V6 on display, outputting 630 brake horsepower. We're lucky enough to get a peek inside too, as the gull wing doors are open, showcasing the interior of the MC20. Opposite the MC20 we have the rather green Bentley Continental. Certainly see that approaching from a distance, parked next to a C7 Corvette. The American muscle you see on display features a 6.2 litre pushrod V8, which of course is the variant of GM's infamous LS engine. The Z06 and ZR1 models offer the addition of a supercharger too. Besides the C7 we have another Ferrari 360, and further up, in a rather bold orange, a Lotus Exige. Amongst the supercars standing tall we have the Range Rover next to another Nissan Skyline GTR. this one being an R34, which obviously came along much later than the R32 which we saw earlier. There's those iconic taillights that anyone into Japanese cars will know and recognise. Looking down from above, parked next to the steps, a McLaren 720S. Equipped with McLaren's M840T engine, a 4-litre V8 punching out 710 brake horsepower, or 720 PS, hence the model name. The chassis is of course of complete carbon fibre monocoque, which is stiffer and lighter than its predecessor, which was the McLaren 650S. Again, absolutely loving the colour, finished in this lovely shade of blue. Now, parked next to this high-vis Lotus, we have a Chevrolet Corvette C8, the latest model in the history of the Corvette. I have to say, credit to General Motors for this. They really have pulled this one off. It's easy to give GM a lot of stick, as they have had their fair share of embarrassing failures over the years. But sometimes, they do get it right, and the C8 Vet really is a high point for GM. The C8 offers a lot of firsts for the Corvette, such as the right-hand drive models, and of course now being rear-engined, featuring GM's LS-based small block engine, the LT2, a 6.2 litre V8 rated at 490 brake horsepower. It utilises a dry sump lubrication system, so by doing away with the oil pan, the engine could sit lower, reducing the car's overall centre of gravity. Clever stuff. Well, here's where the party's at, with this humble Morris Minor having a disco up front, featuring a front bumper delete and a nice set of Minolite wheels. If we come around the back, we have a rather neat custom taillight design, which works well with the removal of the rear bumper. And up on the rear screen we have printed, "In Rust We Trust." I know the feeling, my man. I own a Mark 1 MX-5. Pretty sure I've swept parts of the car off the garage floor. And speaking of Mark 1 MX-5s, tucked in the corner we have this silver example featuring a few modifications. It's definitely been lowered and has the headlight upgrade that everybody does, myself included. Along the side it has carbon fibre mirrors, sort of matching a lot of the supercars here today. A custom sports steering wheel and the factory removable hardtop is fitted too. Around the back we have the clear lens tail lights and a set of 6-spoke rotor style wheels. I can hear some more cars rolling this way. Is that a Mercedes Benz GLA 45 AMG? Appears to be a Petronas edition too, in which I have to say does look rather smart. I do quite like the teal coloured detailing. Oh wow, well this pretty much sums up how varied this car meet is. You have one of the latest Porsches, followed by a Mark II Fiesta. Looks like an XR2 with the front fog lamps and the Ford pepper pot wheels. Opposite the MX-5, in keeping with the Japanese theme, is this Toyota Mark II. Now, you may be mistaken for thinking this is a chaser, which all JDM car fans go mad for, but technically this is not a chaser, although the engine options at the time were all the same and the overall dimensions are practically identical. Nice to see, and makes a change from seeing the Toyota chasers all the time. Just behind the Toyota is a stunning example of an E30 BMW M3. Straight from my favourite era of BMW, and I personally think when BMW styling was at its best. Classic quad headlight arrangement and a sensible sized kidney grille. None of this modern pig nose nonsense. Loving the spoiler in combination with the wide arches as well as the long, straight, sharp lines which really highlight the 1980s. Under the hood is BMW's S14 engine. A straight four with double overhead cams, which made around 195 brake horsepower, depending on whether the car was sold with a cat, as some countries didn't require it. Now here's a vehicle that is quite unique. I saw this roll in and at a brief glance thought an aerial atom had rolled in, but upon a closer look we can see it's a completely different vehicle altogether. This is a V-Storm WR3, which I have never come across before. It's built by a company by the name of DJC Sports Cars, which are an independent British company. The seating position is rather unconventional, with the driver up front in the centre and the two passenger seats at the rear. Ideal if you wish to take mum and dad out for a track day. It is rear-engined with what appears to be the radiator mounted externally above the passenger's head. Powered by a Subaru turbocharged flat 4, which I imagine provides ample power in a car that probably weighs very little. Certainly something a little bit different. Back to a slightly more well-known brand, parked at the very end of the row, is a Ferrari F8, built to replace the 488 and shares the same engine from the 488 Pista, churning out 710 brake horsepower. Through the rear screen we can just about see that 3.9 litre turbocharged V8. Just another fantastic Italian exotic here on display today. Another favourite amongst the Japanese car enthusiasts, the Mazda RX-7 FD. Powered of course by the well-known rotary engine, a 1.3 litre twin rotor engine to be a bit more precise, which featured a sequential twin turbocharger system. So basically, a small turbocharger for the lower rev range, and a larger turbo to increase power at the higher rev range. A sort of way to try and combat turbo lag. This does result in quite a unique sound, which I'm sure can be heard pretty clearly through this fairly sizable exhaust. Certainly no pea shooters back here. The Nissan 370Z is wearing some very bold wheels. Definitely see those from half a mile down the road. We have a guest appearance from the incredible Mr. Hulk. Can't say he looks too pleased to be here. I feel I should be quite concerned about that. Next door to the Mustang, parked is an Alpine A110. Now I do like the way these cars are styled. I think a great job was done in creating a modern interpretation of the original A110 1300G. With the headlights set up, overall shape and the rear window. It is reasonably difficult to take key features like that and try and incorporate them into a modern car, but they have pulled it off. Based on an all aluminium construction and is powered by a 1.8 litre turbo inline 4. Now here's a pair I've been meaning to get around to seeing. This pair of Mark II Escorts caught my attention when they rolled in and I don't think that's factory standard. That's a Honda VTEC lump, with a rather sizable spoolie boy attached to it. At an educated guess, I imagine that makes a significant amount more power than the standard Escort engine. Escorts don't exactly weigh much either, so I imagine this accelerates like a certain brown substance off the end of a shovel. This 4-door parked next to a 2-door in matching colours makes for quite the pair. I think these two really have stolen the show for me. And just around the corner these two Lamborghinis have arrived. We really are being treated today with a variety of supercars on display. Keeping with the theme of pairs, these two McLarens are also looking rather smart, soaking up the sun. We've been really fortunate with the weather this morning. You never really know how it's going to pan out around this time of year. And some more supercar variety with this Lamborghini Gallardo Performante Spider. Again another stunning supercar example. Powered by Lamborghini's 5.2 litre V10, outputting just over 560 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 around 3.8, 3.9 seconds, somewhere around there. Fast enough, put simply. Well, that's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I have to say the car of the show, or cars of the show should I say, have to be the pair of Escorts. I do feel as if that is a rather unique pair, and a lot of time and effort has gone into those builds. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram for all the highlights and see which shows I attend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.